Have at it.
What do you think of being the #1 overall seed?
I think it's great. I don't think it means much. I don't know the difference in any of the 1 seeds, but I guess from a player's perspective, it would have to mean something going into the tournament that they've done so well that they're thought of being that. But certainly now it doesn't mean anything. I was trying to think what it'd be like, and it'd be kind of like having a stellar high school career, you know, and it's over. But when you get to college, you got to start all over again and go compete. And this is a fresh start. Tournament's a fresh start, and certainly for not only coaches but players, and you know, got to perform starting now. And all the past has done is put us in a position to be high seed, but certainly now is where it counts the most.
In the South, there's Arizona's a 6 seed, Vanderbilt and Wichita State 11 seeds, Iowa a 7 seed. Do any or all of those seem out of whack to you?
Well, I thought, you know, if you are the #1 overall seed, it seems like to me there's a lot of good teams in that particular region. Of course, there's going to be good teams throughout all the brackets, but I would say that the South region would, you know, be thought of by most of the pundits as being, you know, as strong as any of them, I would think.
And you're 3 miles closer to Louisville, but
how many?
3 miles, I guess. But you're more of a Chicago school, I think. I mean, you have more alums there. You have more.
We're not 3 miles closer to Louisville than.
By air, I guess the NCAA is
by air.
Says
because I actually Googled it, and Siri, I didn't Google it. Siri told me that Chicago was like 448 and Louisville was 515. Maybe that's by vehicle instead of by air. I don't know. So Siri obviously can't trust her at all. But 3 miles closer, that I don't think that has much to do with anything.
But Virginia's 5 hours closer by driving. I don't know what the air is to Louisville than to Chicago.
I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea on that stuff at all. I don't know.
Are you surprised you're not Midwest?
Yeah, I was. I thought we'd go to Chicago, but I'm fine with that. I think the only person that's really disappointed with us is Jamari. You know, Jamari obviously would have loved to have gone back to Chicago, but hey, Louisville's fine. I've never been to the Yum Center, and I hear it's one of the best facilities in the country, and so we'll be excited to be there if we're fortunate enough to get there. You know, but certainly, you know, we would have been excited to be anywhere. You know, if you're fortunate enough to win 2 games in the first weekend.
Did you first meet Dave Luce as an assistant at Oklahoma State, and if so, when was that, and what are your feelings toward him?
Well, I've known Dave for a long time. I think he was assistant at Memphis when I was just getting started, and you know, he's been at Austin Peay now. It's got to be 20+ years he's been there, and certainly, you know, he's always been a really well-respected, nice guy, and you know, his son is assistant coach at Missouri. And was Kim's assistant for a long time at Central Missouri, and I don't know if you guys saw that special they had yesterday, but it was very cool. His granddaughter's going through a real tough time right now and just had surgery, and she's in a hospital in New York City, and CBS was able to conduct an interview that basically allowed her to tell Grandpa congratulations and all that stuff on his birthday. So a really neat piece. And hopefully playing Austin Peay in some way, shape, or form will bring attention to the cause and what they're trying to do with his granddaughter. But you know, I haven't spoken to Dave probably in a year or so. But certainly I've always thought he was first rate. He always treated me very, very well when I was a young guy.
And Bill, I just wonder, when you see Austin Peay, what's the first thing you do to go look them up? Do you look on the phone? What do you do? Oh
no. Chris had all the information for us immediately. You know, and of course we know they're in the Ohio Valley, and I haven't watched tape yet. I will. You know, we'll watch some tonight. We've already divided up the scouts before the selection even came out, and in some ways, you know, you could say that we got a break because we don't have to prepare for a play-in game, because a play-in game, you know, obviously you don't know who's going to win until late Tuesday night, and therefore you just have the one day. So we'll be able to look at them and see if they're doing anything unique that we need to spend a little extra time on.
Chris Horton, just from the numbers, they're a big man. I think 12 boards a game.
I think it's 19 and 12. Is that right? Yeah, and yeah, we'll have to do a good job on him. Obviously, I'm not as familiar with personnel, except the obvious. But we'll study that, and we've actually defended some big guys pretty well for the most part. And of course, Devin had his way with us yesterday. But we'll be excited to play against him.
You said you thought your region was tough. 4 teams would have been ranked in the top 3 at some point, including yourself, in that region. Maryland.
That makes it pretty tough.
Does that say something about the NCAA, or just about how tough your bracket is in particular?
No, I think it's who knows. The way that the committee does it, and they do a great job. It's not an S curve. If you get to the 3rd seed, okay, the top-rated 3rd seed, you play closest to your home. The 2nd-seeded 3rd seed plays the next closest, to their home. So sometimes it can get a little bit out of whack where it appears that, well, God, that's a strong 4. Well, that may be the way it's just set up, where that 4 falls that way, whatnot. But I think it is a loaded region. But the fortunate thing in a loaded region is, they got to play each other before we would have an opportunity to play them if we're fortunate enough to advance. So it's not like you got to go through, 7 really good teams or 7 teams that have been ranked in the top 15 this year or anything in your region. You don't have to. You got to win 4 games. I'm not concerned about the second weekend at all right now. I think whenever you get to a second weekend, you're going to play good teams no matter what. I'm concerned about the first weekend and trying to win 2 games the first weekend. Austin Peay and then of course Connecticut or Colorado. That's all I'm concerned about, because you're going to play good teams in the tournament regardless.
You ever had a year where you thought, boy, that's an easy region I'm in? I mean, you never hear a coach say that.
No, nobody. Every coach thinks they got dealt a bad hand, and our region is always the toughest and all that stuff. And there's very few coaches out there near as objective as what I am when it comes to stuff like that. So, but they're all tough.
A lot of your players have continually said we can do some things to get better. Does that come from you, or you found this team's kind of taken that?
I think it's probably a combination of both, but I actually think they think that. I mean, unforced errors, defensive rebounding, stealing extra possessions. It's amazing to me. We've been such a poor free throw shooting team, and then in the game where we had to make free throws to win it, you make them. But it doesn't always work out that way. It'd be nice to be more consistent in that area. But I think in Kansas City, I don't know how you guys felt watching us. The first half of the first game wasn't. I mean, K-State was good, and then the first half of the second game wasn't good, and we're down 1 on a banked-in 40-footer. So sometimes you look at it, we're not doing very good, but you look up and say, well, God, we're only down 1. That means we're at least guarding, at least we're rebounding, and then the second half we played very well against Baylor, obviously, and yesterday we played pretty well too. So I think Kansas City, was a good momentum push for us, but I still think our guys feel like there's better play out there for us, and certainly I do. Yesterday Wayne didn't. I mean, Frank didn't score the ball. Wayne did, and Devontae was great, and Perry he did late. But I think when you look at our guys, they would say, well, that's great, but we did a bad job on Devin. We didn't handle their pressure near as good. I mean, there were so many opportunities on 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s that we didn't take advantage of that could have created more separation. I don't think they're satisfied. I don't, and I think that's good.
Could you see that in their reaction today to when this came about? I mean, there wasn't much suspense for you guys. You knew you were going to be a #1 seed.
I don't know. I think our team's got pretty good personality, but I didn't think our guys acted, too wild and crazy after the game yesterday. I think it was like, well, we're going to be probably this, so hey, this was great. All right, now let's get ready for the next deal. And today, all those deals are staged. I mean, hey, clap whenever they, call your name. And there's been years past where we actually clapped, but there was an 8-second delay. They educated us, so it looks like we were total duds. And they changed it where it's only a 2-second delay. now, so I think our guys were a little bit more into it. But that's fine with me. The big stage deal with all the fans and cheerleaders and everything like that, I don't think that plays near as well here, and wouldn't mean as much to our guys. Not saying it's wrong, but our guys are just pretty much matter of fact when it comes to that.
They look like they enjoy playing more than celebrating themselves.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're really having fun playing. They're pretty joyful out there right now, and you know, that's what I talked to them about. That's what we got to continue and maintain, and you know, work to get better. But hey, don't lose that. Hey, I'm going to have fun with this, and I do think the guys are really enjoying each other.
It's going to come up, but I mean, you know, the 1 versus 16 thing, I think it's like 124-0. I mean, you're going to get.
Well, it's going to come up for everybody. So yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of all the other #1 seeds in the field. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I'm not a huge fan. I don't really care that much. But if it's 124-0 and if it's 128-0 after the first game, then I'd still be okay with that. So yeah, we need to make sure we don't take anything for granted and be ready to play.
How tough of a balancing act is it, kind of carrying this momentum streak that you guys are on, and versus hitting the reset button going into the NCAA tournament?
You know, I don't know why we need to hit reset. We haven't hit reset of late. I'd like for us to keep doing what we're doing. You know, we took the day off. We'll go 45 minutes tomorrow because that was a grind over there, 3 days, and guys played a lot of minutes, and then we'll have a normal practice on Tuesday and leave Wednesday. So I don't know that we need to do anything any different or get in our guys' minds saying, okay, now it's where we really. I think we just try to keep building on what we've been doing.
When you saw Texas Tech selected, did that pretty much validate what the coaches had been saying all along about the strength of the league? You
know, I was worried the way it was kind of coming down because was it the next to last region, or I think they're in the Midwest, aren't they, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, but I was really happy for them, and everybody reacted that way. The players weren't in there at that time, but the coaches were, I believe, and everybody reacted very favorably. So they deserve it, but I do think it speaks volumes for our league.
Health-wise, do you like where you are headed into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we're nicked up, but who's not nicked up after you do something for 4 or 5 months straight every day? So we'll get our batteries recharged. You know, Saturday, you know, Devontae and Frank played a lot of minutes, and Wayne did too, and Perry played a lot too. Those 4 did, but today off and tomorrow light. I can't imagine why we wouldn't have our legs back under us by Tuesday.
Anything else?